Hey everybody, Joe Price here. So it's probably going to be the final video focusing on moon auto farming and boss auto farming before the 1.3 update. So in this video, I'm going to be focusing on the Frost Moon Horseman's Blade Arena. There have been a number of improvements made to this arena since I last featured it in my videos. So let's go check it out. So code A2 in the teleporter hub. Alright, so here we are. So these improvements to this arena are largely due to the efforts of a few members on the official Terraria forums, most notably Gandalf K and UNFTF. So both of those individuals discovered that we can use mimic statues to good effect. We can reduce greatly the number of statues inside this player chamber. And it looks like the fewer statues you use and the fewer mobs you generate, the better the final wave times. Apparently, if you generate a lot of mobs, it'll interfere to some degree with the spawn rates during Frost Moon or Pumpkin Moon. Now, UNFTF's design has proved to be the most efficient and record-setting as well. So let's talk about that. So we only have two statues here. One mimic statue, and the other statue can really be anything, so long as it's not another mimic statue. I prefer slime statues because they have very few drops, so they don't eat up your inventory space, and they of course do very little damage to the player. So the logic is as follows. Every time we swing our sword, we can only hit a maximum of 4 mobs. Now, with each sword swing during the moon events, we will be hitting 4 mobs, sometimes only 3 though. So long as we can maintain at least 4 mobs in this player chamber, we will be reaching the maximum number of pumpkins that we can generate with each sword swing. Now, if we just take a look at the wiring here, we have all 3 colors of wire passing through the both of these statues, and these wires are connected to an activation chamber, which I'm going to show you in just a second. Since the mimics do not die to one hit, at least not typically, they'll hang around, which means at any given time we will always have 3 mimics up here. And since the slime statue is being activated at all 6 activation points, it is highly likely that we'll have at least one slime present here, and thus we'll be able to have 4 mobs at any one time in this chamber. So other things to note about this setup. Okay, so directly below we see our spear trap batteries, which are directed to fire spear tips above a spawn surface. Now these are all connected to pressure plates in this bat track. Okay, if we pull the switch that's to my left here, it's connected through red wire to the bat statue. And this bat that's summoned, initially it hangs out at the top here because it wants to get to the player. But it'll give up eventually, and then it'll start moving downwards through the pressure plates, and it'll die in the lava below. So when it passes through the pressure plates, yeah, it'll activate the spear traps, and when it gets to the final pressure plate, it'll do 2 things. One is it'll teleport this NPC to the activation chamber, which I'll show you in a second, and the other thing is it'll activate the 5-second timer. And the 5-second timer, the purpose behind that is to alternate the spawn surface. Just take a look at the spawn surface below. Alternate the spawn surface so that any hearts that get dropped on this surface, they'll make their way to the lava below. When I start the event, this entire surface will become actuated, exposing the lava that's underneath. The purpose behind burning all the hearts is we don't want to reach the 400 item limit during the Frost Moon event, and thus lose a lot of the valuable weapon drops. Keeping all the hearts burnt that are dropped by Santa NK1 and Everscream means we'll never reach that item limit, and all of the valuable weapon drops will stick around until the end of the event. Next, let's talk about this NPC and where exactly this NPC gets teleported. So if we head over to the little chamber here, yeah, so if we check the wiring, our 3 colors of wire, I'll kill this guy off, our 3 colors of wire, they are connected to pressure plates inside this chamber. When the NPC teleports inside, it'll be hoiked back and forth, passing over these pressure plates, thus continuously activating the statues, the mob statues, and activating the spear trap batteries as well. So these spear trap batteries, they're no longer powered by 1 second timers. This is something that UNFTF used in his arena that managed to set a record for Frostmoon Final Wave. So instead of having 1 second timers, you essentially have the NPC passing continuously over those pressure plates in an activation chamber, and thus continuously activating the spear traps themselves. We see the blue wire that's passing through all of the spear traps, so that's connected to one of the activation points in the activation chamber. It's a really nice way of avoiding the use of timers in these farms. So one last thing to point out, in terms of the gear that I'm using for this event. So I'm using the beetle set with beetle scale mail so that I can generate the beetle might buff, which will increase the DPS considerably. And the accessories that I use: Celestial Stone, Mechanical Glove, Fire Gauntlet, Destroyer Emblem, and also the Moonstone. And these greatly boost DPS. They're far better than any other accessories that you can use. Now I have all of these reforged to Menacing. It doesn't really matter that much if you go with Menacing or Lucky or some mixture of the two. The differences in DPS are fairly small among all the different reforges that you can generate. And of course, I'm using the legendary Horseman's Blade. In terms of potions and other things as well, so I have Saki, I have Flask of Ichor, Wrath Potion, Rage Potion, and Pumpkin Pie as well. I don't need any defensive buffs. The slime will keep me protected throughout the entire event. And yeah, in terms of how this works, so if I pull the switch, activates the bat statue. Like I said before, the bat hangs around at the top and then passes through the pressure plates. Once the NPC gets sent into the activation chamber, the mob statues keep getting activated, and the spear traps keep getting activated as well. So all I need to do is just hold down the left mouse button to continuously swing my sword. I can, of course, use a rubber band to ensure the left mouse button is continuously pressed. And periodically, I just press the all buff button to drink all the potions and eat the food. Yeah, so this is basically how it works, and anything that spawns on that spawn surface, the pumpkins get redirected there, and they kill things really quickly. You'll see in a moment a couple of demonstrations, one with Frost Moon and one with Pumpkin Moon, how quickly everything goes down. Yeah, so the upcoming runs that I'm going to show you, the first will be for Frost Moon, and that's a record-setting run. The final wave is reached at 12:19 a.m., which is almost a minute more, or a minute less, I should say, compared to my previous run. Now, this is a record-setting run with video proof, but the best final time has been reached by UNFTF on the official forums. He posted a final time of 11:36. The next thing I'm going to showcase afterwards is run with Pumpkin Moon. I'll be able to reach the final wave time at 9:44 p.m. And immediately afterwards, I'll show you what happens when I summon mechanical bosses, how quickly this farm can take down mechanical bosses. This farm is not that good for Pumpkin Moon farming. If you want to generate a lot of cash, you should stick to the Omega farm that I featured in a previous video. So just one final thing before I showcase this farm in action against Moon events. I believe I have some sort of hardware issue that might be impeding my ability to generate even faster times. So I'm really curious what you guys are able to achieve as far as final wave times in the Frost Moon event. I'll offer this map for download. Try it out for yourself. If you manage to get a final wave time better than 12:19, post it. Post it in the forums or post it in the comment section of this video. I'm really curious what you guys are able to generate. Of course, instead of building the instead of downloading the map, you can build the farm yourself. I'll provide schematics for this farm in the guide that I'm going to link in the description box. All right, so that's it for now. Enjoy the Frost Moon event and the Pumpkin Moon event shortly, and I'll see you in the next video.